so old. You have your hearing aids on. Well, turn them up. But, well, I did talk to Dan today. He went motocrossing again last weekend. Said he had the time of his life.
I knew that boy'd find a way.
I said he had the time of his life.
Oh, you're gonna shout, I'm gonna turn my aids.
Nah, I never liked those things. No. Dan got the trophy for the Over the Hill 40s group. Yeah. Too bad Steve couldn't go, but he's got that bad back and all.
Didn't know you like backpacking?
You don't backpack. I said bad back. Yeah,
Oh,
bad back.
yeah, that's right, he heard that.
Not watching this band today. How's modern maturity?
Well, same as always, dear. Good reaching.
Well, Phil went deer hunting today. He actually shot a deer.
I knew that boy'd find one. What's her name?
I said, shot a deer, not got a deer.
Oh,
Are you worried about those boys ever getting married or what?
no, ma'am, we got plenty of bedroom.
Yeah, but you don't have to worry. Look at Wes and Joy. They were almost over the hill too. And Wes was nearly 35 and a little gray, but other than that, they've had a good life together.
I'll tell you though, dear, he's a wonderful son-in-law.
Speaking of Wes and Joy, you think Joy will ever go back into teaching now that she's finally got her life organized? The girls back in school now.
I knew that Wes would preach someday. I knew it. I knew he'd do it.
Preach.
Yeah, I said that, yeah.
Joy teach, not Wes preach. Hey, turn those hearing aids up, would you? You need new batteries or what?
This one's been dead for an hour.
Well, I don't know if Joy will ever go into teaching, but I'm glad Dory finally got her teaching certificate. Maybe she'll get a job out in Iowa or something, and who knows? Find a man or something?
You know, dear, I always wanted to go to Iowa and see them cornfields.
You want to go to Iowa?
Yep, maybe we can do that now.
Well, I don't know. Hate to take time off, but I don't pack lunches anymore. I suppose I could go a day.
Ah, that'd be great. That'd be great, dear. We'll plan that.
Okay. Oh, it's so quiet now with the kids out of the house. I can hardly stand it. I'm gonna go play some music. Sure enjoy that piece Christy sent us from New York City. It's doing pretty good. You know, I still remember the day, though, when little Christy sat out playing chopsticks while I fixed supper every night.
Yeah. That reminds me of that dinner you served one night.
Dinner?
Remember that? Call that chop suey? Chop suey?
Not sewage.
You were mad that night,
You done pretty good with my cooking, though. Got that little
Well,
paunch there.
over the years we've had a few arguments, but it's been good, you know. We've had a lot of blessings, huh?
Yeah, we sure have. Yeah. You're the
That's why I did it.
We have a little more on the program, but we want to give Mom and Dad a press in a minute. For all the years Mom has rocked us in the rocking chairs, and all the years Dad has, no, I didn't know. Probably prayed for us in the rocking chair. We'd like to give them something to make them open it up right now. You may have that too if you want, right, Becky? You always keep your gift wrap, so. If you want to take a nap together, you may.
I did.
Yeah, I think I can read from there. This is a little song I wrote for Dad and Mom, and I had to do a little embellishment of the truth to get the words to rhyme, so, and I think you recognize the tune. I hope you recognize the tune, because if you don't, anyway, it's an old Civil War battle song. I thought it was sort of fitting tune. In 1948, she took a little trip down the Dixie Highway and across the mighty Mac. She took along her baggage and she took along her books. She had a new diploma and she had some pretty looks. Johnny was a farmer boy, a lad of 22. He drove a big old school bus painted red, white, and blue. He drove the bus to school one day and much to his surprise, a pretty teacher met and almost looked him in the eyes. Well, he... Excuse me while I swallow. Tried to court her, but she wouldn't let him. She weren't near so bashful as she was the time before. Tried once more, but she began a run down the classroom hallway and out the schoolhouse door. Well, Johnny was persistent and he gave to it his best to win the heart of one who stood way out above the rest. He thought that no one else would ever make as good a wife. He wanted her to love him and to share with him his life. Gotta get down there again. Well, he tried to court her, and she began to date him. These times she seemed more friendly than she was the time before. But when he popped the question, she began a running. She left him in the dust as her lonely tipped the floor. She ran through the bushes and she ran through the briars and she ran into places where a rabbit wouldn't go. She ran so fast she thought he'd never catch her. But next day he was waiting outside the schoolhouse door. The teacher's plan was working, she knew it all along. A husband who didn't chase her weren't worth nothing much at all. He caught her at the altar and he knew he'd caught a prize. She was something special, he could see it in her eyes. Well, he tried to court her and he was quite successful, although it hadn't worked out just the way that he had planned. She met him in the altar on a snowy day in '50. The marriage vows were spoken, a covenant began. Well, he tried to court her, and she was quite successful, although it hadn't worked out just the way that he had planned. She met him at the altar on a snowy day in '50. Now 40 years later, we celebrate again.
Sing for it.
is called Find Us Faithful. Apparently, you have the privilege of having a Christian radio station or even network. In Canada, we don't. I have never heard this song by Steve Green, Find Us Faithful. But when I saw the words, which came to me courtesy of Joy, the words that sprang to mind are the words that I think must have been in the mind of John Moore, who is the writer both of words and music. And they're taken from Hebrews 12. And these are the words. Therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. Let's fix our eyes on Jesus, the author and perfecter of our faith, who for the joy set before him endured the cross, scorning its shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. We will find selections of Hebrews 12, verse 1 and 2 in this song